Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Sumaira Kamal. First, the headlines. Prime Minister says all political parties have a united stand on Kashmir issue and will continue to extend moral, political and diplomatic support to the Kashmiri brethren. In occupied Kashmir, complete shutdown was observed on the fourth consecutive day today against martyrdom of 18 youth by Indian troops. President has urged the people of Balochistan to foil the conspiracies hatched by the foes of Pakistan. National Security Advisor says the National Action Plan is being implemented successfully across the country that has improved law and order situation. The leaders of Russia, Iran and Turkey met in Ankara today for talks on resolving the conflict in Syria. In Egypt, 35 Muslim Brotherhood members have been sentenced to life in prison for their alleged conspiracy to attack security forces. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi has emphatically stated that Pakistan stands shoulder to shoulder with its Kashmiri brethren in their just struggle for the right to self-determination. He was addressing the joint session of Azad Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Assembly and Azad Jammu and Kashmir Council in Muzaffarabad today. The Prime Minister said the Indian occupying forces have been unleashing a wave of terror on innocent Kashmiri people over the last 7 decades, but they have miserably failed to suppress their voice. He said Kashmir is in an international recognized dispute and its resolution lies in a plebiscite according to the UN Security Council resolutions. Regretting the recent wave of terror unleashed by Indian troops in the Held Valley, the Prime Minister said Indian authorities are resorting to such failed tactics in order to crush the voice of Kashmiri people. Shahid Khaqan Abbasi said the government, the people and all political parties are united on Kashmir issue and will continue to extend moral, political and diplomatic support to the Kashmiri brethren. He said Pakistan has taken a strict stance on the recent Indian brutalities in occupied Kashmir, demanding of India to allow the UN Human Rights Commission to investigate the human rights violations in the occupied valley. He said Pakistan has also asked the United Nations to appoint a special envoy on Kashmir to assess the situation. Earlier, talking to all parties Hurriyat conference leaders in Muzaffarabad, the Prime Minister said Pakistan has always supported the implementation of UN Security Council resolutions that call for the right of self-determination to the people of Kashmir. He said our Foreign Office and all diplomatic missions abroad are regularly propagating the implementation of UN Security Council resolutions on Kashmir. The Prime Minister said he himself has also highlighted the Kashmir issue in all his meetings at the UN and the OIC. In occupied Kashmir, complete shutdown was observed on the fourth consecutive day today against the martyrdom of 18 youth by the Indian security forces. According to Kashmir Media Service, all businesses, establishments were closed while public transport was sparse. Government offices were empty while schools, colleges and Kashmir University remained closed. The authorities continued to suspend train and internet services. Clashes were reported between protesters and Indian troops in Shopanya and other parts of the territory. Curfew and restrictions were imposed by the Indian authorities across the territory to prevent a solidarity march towards Shopanya today. Call for the march was given by the Joint Resistance Leadership to express solidarity with the people and the families of 18 martyrs. The authorities sealed all main roads and highways, including Pulwama-Shopanya Highway, with barricades. President Mamnoon Hussain says the people of Pakistan are fully capable to thwart any aggression. Addressing the 9th convocation of Sardar Bahadur Khan Women's University in Quetta today, he said the people of Balochistan have to be prepared to foil the conspiracies hatched by the foes of Pakistan. The president said the state institutions are striving hard to overcome the issues of Balochistan. He said China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project is a realization of the dream as envisioned by Qaid-e-Azam. He said the youth will have a crucial role in the CPAC.
Pakistan is a victim country who's suffering of terrorism. Unfortunately, terrorism has started to haunt all of us around the globe. It has traversed and transgressed with its extraordinary reach. And there's a growing awareness that the terrorism cannot be fought by a single state or even a group of states. It requires international and global response.
Meeting of the National Security Committee is underway in Islamabad with Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi in the chair. This is Radio Pakistan. National Security Advisor Nasir Khan Janjua says that Pakistan respects sovereignty and territorial integrity of Afghanistan. Addressing Islamabad International Counter-Terrorism Forum in Islamabad today, he said both Pakistan and Afghanistan have rendered great sacrifices in the war on terrorism.
Pakistan is a victim country who's suffering of terrorism. Unfortunately, terrorism has started to haunt all of us around the globe. It has traversed and transgressed with its extraordinary reach. And there's a growing awareness that the terrorism cannot be fought by a single state or even a group of states. It requires international and global response.
The National Security Advisor said Pakistan has rendered immense sacrifices both in men and material in the war on terror, but these have not been acknowledged. He said the country's political and military leadership formulated the National Action Plan in 2014 to get rid of the menace of terrorism by covering all of its dimensions in 20 points. He said the plan is being implemented successfully across the country and has improved law and order situation. Interior Minister Ahsan Iqbal has stressed the need for political stability to ensure rapid development of the country. Addressing a function in Malakand University, Chakdara, today, he said the sit-ins and protests damaged the national economy. Ahsan Iqbal said the present government has controlled the problem of terrorism and energy crisis. Minister for Education and Professional Training Balighur Rahman says the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is a fate-changing project for Pakistan which will generate new opportunities for the youth. Addressing the 9th convocation at National University of Modern Languages in Islamabad today, he said peace in the country has provided a ground for development. He said the government providing 107 billion rupees to the universities through Higher Education Commission. Commander Turkish Navy Admiral Adnan Ozbal, who is in Pakistan, visited Karachi and Lahore naval units today. According to spokesperson of Pakistan Navy, the Turkish naval chief met heads of field commands. Bilateral defense cooperation and professional matters were discussed in these meetings. He also visited Pakistan Navy's ship PNS Saif. The leaders of Russia, Iran, Turkey met in Ankara today for talks on resolving the conflict in Syria. Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President Vladimir Putin of Russia, and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani were holding their second summit to discuss Syria's future. The leaders' meeting in the Turkish capital is expected to reaffirm their commitment to Syria's territorial integrity and the continuation of local ceasefires. In Syria itself, the rebel group Jaish al-Islam released 5 prisoners today as part of a deal over Ghouta town of Doma. The UK-based War Monitor said the insurgents had kidnapped them from the nearby town of Adra around 5 years ago. Syrian state TV separately said the army had freed 4 women and a man from the militants as part of the deal. In Egypt, 35 alleged Muslim Brotherhood members have been sentenced to life in prison for conspiracy to attack security forces. A criminal court in the city of Sohag today also sentenced other 155 defendants to 3 to 15 years in prison on similar charges. The verdict can be appealed and 124 suspects who remain at large will be retired once they are apprehended. China has imposed tariffs on roughly $50 billion of imports from the U.S. in a tit-for-tat row. The measure is being seen as a swift response to the U.S. decision of imposing similar duties on Chinese goods. China's foreign minister in a statement today said the America's measures to impose tariffs have violated the rules of the World Trade Organization and have seriously violated Beijing's legal rights. The Chinese decision impacts 106 US products including soybeans, cars, and chemicals. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while hot in southern parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, light rain thunderstorm is expected at isolated places in Job, Malakand, Dera Ismail Khan divisions, Fatah, Kashmir, and Gilgit-Baltistan. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/radio Pakistan News Official.